Good morning, students. Now today in this lecture we are going to discuss another function. Yesterday the last function was the modulus function, and you observed that the domain and range of modulus function was all real and the range was all positive real numbers. Now we are coming to next type of function. This is called signum function. Signum function, it is defined from R to R, real number to real number, means domain is taken as real, range will also be real. So it is defined in F such that R to R, F such that R to R, and Fx is equal to we have -1, +1 and 0. We have -1, +1 and 0. If we take x is equal to 1 when x is greater than 0, if we take 0 when x is equal to 0, and -1 when x is less than 0. So see, in this function there is no variable. There is no variable, means for any value of x, more than 0, that is positive value, if you take positive real number for x, its range is always 1. Its range is always 1. If you take x is equal to 0, its range becomes 0. And if you take x is less than 0, means negative real number, its value is -1, because it is constant function. It is constant function. So when we plot the graph of this function, this is x and this one is y, this one is y dash, and this one is x dash. See, it is origin 0. Let this is x is equal to 1, this one is x is equal to -1. So see, when you move the value more than 0, means positive value of x, for positive value of x, suppose you are taking x is equal to 1, so y is equal to 1 here. If you take x is equal to 2, then y is equal to 1. If you take x is equal to 3, then y is equal to 1. If you take x is equal to 4, then y is equal to 1. Means it will go in this direction, means you are choosing all positive value of x in this direction. If you take x is equal to 0, then this position is fixed position. If you take x is less than 0, means negative values. So if you take negative values, x is equal to -1, then y is equal to -1. If you take x is equal to -2, then y is equal to -1. If you take x is -3, then y is equal to -1. See, less than 0, its value is always -1. So it goes in this direction. So what is the domain of this function? Means what type of values you are choosing for x. Means we are choosing all possible values on x-axis, means including 0 positive, all positive value, including 0 all negative values, means domain of this function is all real, or you can write minus nd2 plus nd. Domain of this function is all real or minus nd2 plus nd. And if you take talking about range of function, see, it is minus 1, 0 and 1. So minus 1 to plus 1, both minus 1 and plus 1 included, or you can write like this, minus 1, 0 and 1. You can write like this. Range of function is like this, or you can write minus 1 to plus 1 both included, that is closed interval. So you can write range of function is minus 1 to plus 1. Range of function is minus 1 to plus 1. So this is signum function in which there is no variable. We have constant value for any value of x more than 0, that is positive value. If you choose any positive value of x, its value is always 1. If you take x is equal to 0, its value is 0. If you take x is less than 0, that is all negative values, it is always minus 1. So domain of this kind of function is minus nd2 plus nd, or you can say all real numbers, and range is minus 1 to plus 1, where minus 1 and plus 1 both included, or you can write like this, minus 1, 0 and 1. But range is written in this form, means extremes, first number and last number. So this is how we can find out the domain and range of signum function. Is it okay? Now students, we are coming to next function. This is greatest integer function. Greatest integer function. It is defined as f such that r to r and fx is equal to square bracket x. Square bracket x. Fx is square bracket x, and its value is means when we plot the graph of this function, let's see, after that I will explain how to obtain the range of the function and domain of the function. Means we are talking about integer. So clearly you know that all numbers found on the real line, that is on x-axis, is not integer. On this real line we have some rational numbers, some irrational numbers, we have positive integers, we have negative integers. So different types of numbers we can have. So for any value of x, we have to write the range as an integer. Try to understand what I am telling you. Means its domain is always real. Means you can be given, or you can choose any value of x. Any value of x, like 2.5, 3.5, minus 1.5, minus 2.3, minus 8 point, means decimal value, rational value, irrational value, whatever you want to keep on this number line, that is real line. So we will have real number. But when we are going to find the range of this kind of function, so range is always integer. This is why it is called greatest integer. Greatest integer. So how to identify the greatest? Greatest. So whatever number is given on x-axis, try to understand, whatever number is given on x-axis, like suppose x is equal to 2.5, x is equal to 3.9, x is equal to minus 2 point, suppose I am writing here 1, 2, 3, 4, here I am writing minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, here I can write 1, 2, 3, 4, here we can write minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and so on. So what is the greatest integer? Suppose you are taking x is equal to 1.5. So greatest integer is the integer found on the left side of that particular value. Just I am talking about particular value of x. If x is integer, then all right, no problem. If x is equal to 2, it is integer. If x is equal to 3, it is integer. If x is equal to 5, it is integer. Got it? But when x is not integer, then what is its greatest value? What is its greatest value? So its greatest value is the integer found on the extreme left of that particular value of x. Suppose we are given x is equal to 2.5. 2.5. 2.5 is here between 2 and 3. Between 2 and 3. So what is the greatest integer for value of 2.3? It is, suppose fx is equal to 2.3. fx is equal to, x is equal to, sorry, it is fx is equal to greatest integer x, where x is equal to 2.5. This is domain. Then what is its range? So I told the number obtained in just left of this particular number, integer obtained just left. So here it is 2.5. So what is the integer just before this number 2.5? Means left, always left. So 2.5 is here, the integer obtained on the left is 2. So greatest integer we have now, fx is equal to, here it is value is 2, its value is 2 because x is 2.5, so its value is just in the left side of that particular number. Suppose I am taking fx is equal to greatest integer x and x is equal to minus 1.5. Minus 1.5. Now see, minus 1.5 will be between minus 1 and minus 2. Between minus 1 and minus 2. So what is the integer just in the left of that minus 1.5? So you will see here minus 1.5 is here, minus 1.5. In left of minus 1.5, the greatest integer is minus 2. So in that case, f minus 1.5 is equal to what? Minus 2. So what we conclude? We conclude that the domain of this kind of function, domain is all real, but range is always integer. Range is always an integer. So try to understand, whenever you are going to find the range of that particular value of x, whatever integer is obtained on the just left side of that particular number, that will be the greatest integer. Left side, whether it is negative or positive, it doesn't matter. So you have to see the left side of integer. Just before that, like in between 2.2 and 3, so left side is 2. Here between minus 1 and minus 2, left side is minus 2. तो वेन एवर यू आर गिवन अ डेसिमल नंबर, वेदर इट इज 2.9, इट डजेंट मैटर. सपोज वी आर गिवन अ नंबर 3.9, 3.9, x is equal to 3.9. then what is the greatest integer for 3.9? तो see 3.9 is between 3 and 4. so what is the integer just before 3.9? that integer is 3. so its greatest value is 3. so this is how we are able to know the greatest integer function. got it? now this much is given in your syllabus NCERT. this much is given in your syllabus NCERT. we shall discuss some more function but later, since we are going to complete the syllabus for the first unit test. so questions will be asked from the text, whatever given in the text, on that basis questions can be asked. so we are going to discuss some more thing. now students, we are coming to next segment, algebra of real functions. I have told what is real function. A function in which domain is all real or its subset is called real function. now algebra of real function, algebra means we include the signs. sign means positive, means plus, minus, into and quotient. means we have to see the sum of functions, difference of functions, product of functions and quotient of functions. so first we have sum of functions. let f such that x to r, g such that x to r, means fx and gx are two functions. fx and gx are two functions. then if we add the two functions, then try to understand f plus g of x means fx and gx. if these two functions are added, so simply we add the two functions fx plus gx and x belongs to r, fx plus gx. simply we will add two functions. I can give some example also. suppose let fx is equal to 2x plus 3, gx is equal to x minus 1. then what is f plus g of x? so simply we'll write fx plus gx, and fx is 2x plus 1 plus x minus 1, 2x plus 3, it is 2x plus 3. so we have 2x plus x, 3x plus 3 minus plus 2. so this is the sum of two functions. got it? similarly, in case of subtraction of two functions, in the same behavior will be there. let here f such that x to r and g such that x to r, means its domain is real. then f minus g of x is equal to simply fx minus gx and x belongs to r. got it? now in case of product, so we can multiply any function by some scalar quantity. means we can multiply a function by 3, we can multiply a function by root 2, we can multiply a function by minus 3, means scalar quantity. so I am writing product with scalar product with scalar. What is the behavior? Let f k times of here x, where k is some scalar quantity. So when we multiply this, simply we can write k times of fx, means we will multiply that scalar quantity into function. So this is product of scalar and the function. Now we are coming product of two functions. Product of two functions. The same way, two functions fx and gx. So in that case, suppose we have f dot g of x. F dot g means product of two functions. So simply we can write fx dot gx. Fx dot gx. Quotient, talk about quotient of functions. In the same way, if we have f upon g of x, we can write fx upon gx, and here since it is rational function, so gx is not equal to 0. Gx is not equal to 0. So we have this method of algebra, means addition of functions, subtraction of function, multiplication with a scalar quantity, or product of two functions and quotient of two functions. Got it? So this is all about the function in your book algebra. Now students, these many explanation will be in your prospectus, that is in NCERT. I am giving some idea for the further class, and it is not given in your book, and it is important also. You should know it. We are talking about function. So function is of different types. Some behavior of functions, like we have one function and many one function. One function and many one function. Onto function and into function. So it is called bijective. One onto. We have word one onto. That is called bijective. What type of functions are one and what type of functions are onto, and what types of functions are one onto? Both. One onto both. Means we can have one function, one onto, one into. Many one function. So let's see what is one function. Simple. Go through the word one. Means if we are given two non-empty sets, try to understand. If we have two non-empty sets and all the elements of first set has image in second set, that is unique image. This is definition of function. If, try to understand, if every element of first set has only one image, one pre-image must have one image in other set, this function is called one function. Let's see. One function. What is the sense of one? See, suppose we have a set A and another set we have B. Another set we have B. It is having element, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we have, means suppose 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. We are given a relation like this, f such that b is equal to a plus 1. B is equal to a plus 1. Means second element is double of one more than first element. So see, if we take See, if we take x is equal to 1, then y is equal to 1 plus 1 is 2. See, if we take x is equal to 2, then it is 3. If we take x is equal to 3, then it is 4. Then if we take x is equal to 4, it is 5. Try to understand. See, all the elements of set A, 1, 2, 3, 4, has unique image in set B, and one pre-image has only one image. Try to understand. One pre-image has only one pre-image. One pre-image having only one image. So this function is called 1 1, means one element is pairing with 1. This is called 1 1. Got it? Now onto function. Onto function. Onto functions. 1 1 is clear, means one element of A must have one image in B. 1 to 1. 1 to 1. Got it? Now after 1 1 we have onto function. What is onto? When no element in second set is left behind. Means when you are making the pair of images and pre-images, and after all pairs formed, if no element is left in second set, in first set so it is obvious there must not be any element without pair because it is definition of function. So here to no question. In second set, if there is no element left with pair, without pair, means like this, we have 2 3 4 5, only this much, and all images are having pre-image. So if no element is left here, so this kind of function is called onto function. Onto function. So if this kind of functions combinedly said 1 1 and onto, its mathematical proofs are also there. I will tell you later. Just I am giving the idea. It will be taught in next class, but something you must know about it. So this is called bijective or 1 1 onto function. 1 1 because one element is having one image, and onto because there is no element left in this one. So this is called 1 1 onto. If by chance any element is left in second set which is not having any pre-image in first set, in second set suppose 6, it is not having any pre-image, so this kind of function is 1 1 into, this is into function. Into function. If element is left in this set, any element, one element, two elements or more elements are left, it doesn't matter. In that case we say that this function is into function, means this is 1 1 into. It is not bijective. It is not bijective. This is 1 1 into. Got it? What is 1 1 function? Means one pre-image must have only one image in second set. If all the elements of second set are paired up, it means it is onto function. If any element is left, it is called into function. Got it? Now let's see 1 1. Why it is given 1 1? It may be another type, many one function. Many one. Let's see what kind of function is many one. First I am giving to one example. See, many one functions. Many one functions. Just simply go to the word many one. Many to one means many pre-images can have one image. Many pre-images can have one image. For example, I am giving the idea. See, this is set A. This one is set B. Set B. Here we have -1, 0, 1, -2, 2, 3, -3, -3, and so on. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, many more. And the function is given such that f such that b square is equal to a. Means square of a is equal to b. So let's see. Let 1 0 will also be there. Here we can add 0, 1. Say if you find square of -1, if you take a is equal to -1, so b is what? It's a square. The square of -1 is 1. Square of 1 is 1. Square of 0 is 0. Square of -2 is 4. Square of 2 is 4. Square of -3 is 9. Square of 3 is 9. See, try to understand. Here all the elements of first set, means pre-images, have images in second set. Images in second set. So see why it is called many one? Because many elements, many means more than one. Many means more than one. When we have more than one element in first set having same image in second set, -1 and 1 is having what? Image 1. -2 and 2 having image 4. -3 and +3 having image 9. So what is the function of the name? This is many one. Many means more than one. So it is more than one. So many to one. Many to one. This is called many one. And see, it is onto or into. Clearly it is into, because so many elements like 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, these are left in second set. So it is into. So try to understand, this is many one into function. So many one means many to one. Many to one. Got it? So this is all about the function. It will be taught in next class, but I have given some idea, since you should know the name of these functions. And this is not required in class 11th. The question will not be asked from this section. So you should know it. Got it? Now in today's lecture, this is enough for the day. Now we shall discuss some more point and exercise. We shall start the exercise next day. Got it? Till then, thank you very much. God bless you.